I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home Design magazine, and I want to thank you for listening to Talking About a Home show on the radio. Today's radio show is coming to you from Energy One America, located at 454 Jesson Lane, just off of Clements Ferry Road in the Daniel Island area of Charleston. And we're very proud to have Energy One America as one of the sponsors of the Charleston Home and Design Show, coming up April 26th and 27th at Family Circle Stadium on Daniel Island. And now we're talking to Reid McCall with Energy One America. How you doing, Reid?
Good. Good to be here again, Tim.
Sure. Well, Reid, first of all, thank you for hosting today's radio show, and also thank you to Energy One America for being one of the sponsors of the Charleston Home and Design Show on Daniel Island.
We're glad to do it. It's a great show for us. It's one of the best that we do during the year, so you can always count on us to come back.
Oh, super, super. Well, let's start off by having you tell everybody about Energy One America.
Energy One America is a company that wears a lot of hats. People know us best for spray foam insulation. We also do crawl space encapsulation. We have a great mold prevention product in Forticell mold prevention. And we've got a couple of new products that we're rolling out this year that we're excited to show people at the shows and talk about here on your show.
Good deal. Okay. One of those new products, you were showing me a brochure a couple of minutes ago. It's called Retro Foam.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody about Retro Foam from Energy One America.
Retro Foam is a product that we've gotten a lot of leads for, and really didn't have really didn't have a good solution for these folks. And this is a product that can go in an existing wall. So here in Charleston, you have a lot of drafty houses if they were built, late 1800s, early 1940s, 1940s, whatever. And people just don't know what's in the wall, but they feel like they're not getting good insulation, proper R value. So Retro Foam is a water-based, environmentally friendly, non-toxic solution that allows us to insulate their walls, increase the insulation of their walls. It doesn't have the 100% air seal value of spray foam, but we don't have to do any demo. We don't have to take off the drywall, pull anything out that's in there. We can actually just install this Retro Foam without having to take apart any of the existing drywall or whatever's there at the wall. So it's a really exciting product for us because it is so less invasive from the other solutions that are out there.
Right, and people can call Energy One America if they have an existing home, an older home, and you folks can come into that existing home and spray foam the attic area and underneath the house, the crawl space area.
Sure.
But you haven't been able to help homeowners spray foam the walls of the house. I'd say there are solutions, but it's not. It's never usually an affordable solution. So yeah, you're right. People would call us and they say, I want to insulate my existing walls. And we say, if you know absolutely there's no insulation already in there, or if it's a really old house, there's no newspaper stuffed in there, then we're good. We'll come and we can do a pour in place on the house. That was our answer in the past. Well, most people don't know what's in the wall. And they don't want to take their drywall off and all their pictures and repaint and do all that stuff, which is understandable. So yeah, this gives us a way to insulate those standing walls without being concerned about what's in there. The foam is heavy, and so it actually will fill any air voids. If there's fiberglass or cellulose already there, it will compress it up against the surface of the inside there. So it'll fill as much of that void as it can. It'll bring down the noise levels of the outside noise, so it's a good sound insulation. It's very fire resistant, so it actually adds to the fire resistance of the house. Raises the R value, so the bills are going to be lower. All the things that spray foam did, but now we were offering it in the attic and the crawl space. And our customers were calling us to say, what do I do about my walls? And now we have an affordable solution for the walls. So. Well, when I was renovating the first house I bought back in 1990, and the house was built in 1912. And as I was tearing out some of the plaster walls, I can tell you that there was no newspaper, there was no anything in those wall cavities. It was nothing. It was, I guess, before people thought of putting newspapers in or something. And the studs in the walls were the true 2x4s, not like they have today, where they still call them 2x4s, but they're smaller than an actual true old-fashioned 2x4. So there's a lot of space in those voids, and you could feel how cold the walls were in the winter, and a lot of leakage and so forth. And so up until now, if a homeowner wanted to get their walls insulated with spray foam insulation, it's been difficult to do that. You could help, Energy One America could help people in the attic and the crawl space, which is very important, but not in those walls. How do you access the wall cavities?
We do. That's a great question. Most people assume that we do it from inside the house. It's actually from outside the house. So let's say you have hardy plank siding on your house. We would remove one strip of that hardy plank, possibly two, and we would drill a hole in the substrate underneath that hardy plank about every 16 inches or 12 inches, whatever it needs to be to hit every void. Put a hose in, fill it with foam. Once the void is filled with foam, we then patch those holes, put the siding back on the house, and it's just like it was when we got there as far as what it looks like from the outside of the house. Same can be done with stucco. The stucco patches have to be color matched, so that's a little bit more involved as far as color matching the stucco and patching that. Can be done with vinyl siding. Can be done with brick. We can actually drill into the brick and patch the brick. We can also do this on commercial buildings with block fill. So, of course, it's a lot easier to do during construction, but we could always do the exact same thing, drill into the block. So, pretty much whatever's there, we can get in there and fill those voids with the foam.
Yeah, you hate to ever say no to a customer who's calling and asking, "Can you do this for me?" And it sounds like you've now found a way for Energy One America to help that homeowner as far as insulating the walls go. But if the average homeowner called up, they've got a 15-year-old house that with fiberglass insulation up in the attic, maybe some in the crawl space underneath the floors. If they wanted to insulate their entire house with spray foam insulation, but maybe wanted to do it one step at a time, how would you prioritize, from the walls to the crawl space in the attic areas? How would you prioritize what's number one to do, number two and three?
I gotcha. The attic would be number one. Most of your conditioned air is lost through the attic. For years, we've built houses with vented attics, so ridge vents and soffit vents. So 60% of all your energy loss goes right up through the roof, and it makes sense. Hot air rises, so in the winter, all your heated air is going up through the roof. Second would be the crawl space, and then third would be the walls. So we'll look at a house, and if they called us for the walls, we'll still say, "Hey, do you mind if we look at your attic? What's in your crawl space?" Because really, we're trying to give them an energy solution to their problem. They may think it's just the walls they need, that their windows are drafty around the edges, or the electrical outlets are drafty. But then we'll get up in the attic and see that they've got poor insulation that's hanging down or non-existent. And so we give them a variety of choices. We can give them a quote on every part of the house, set up a plan with them to address all of the needs, or let them choose which one is most important to them, and go from there. But we got a phone call a day about existing walls, sometimes from previous customers that we had already done their attics or their crawl spaces. So it's really nice to have a solution to add to the other to the other offerings.
What does Energy One America do when you're insulating an attic with spray foam insulation and the house has a ridge vent or has the roof vent that a previous roofer has installed?
So the idea with a spray foam system is to seal the attic completely off from the outside world, because that's where your dust is coming in, your pollen. That's where your conditioned air is going out. So it kind of flies in the face of most people say to us, "Well, I thought the whole attic had to be vented," and that is one way of doing things. But you're paying for that vented attic. You're literally feeding money into the AC unit, and it can be hundreds of dollars a month depending on the size of the house. So when we seal that space, your conditioned air stays in the house, and all that dust and polluted air stays outside. So it's a pretty simple idea. It takes a good crew and a well-trained crew to hit every spot up there so it has that good seal. But we've had people call us and say not only were their bills lower, but the house felt completely different the very next day after we were finished. The AC unit would, at this time of year, the heating would actually cut off instead of just running all day long trying to keep up with all that lost conditioned air. So.
Yeah, and I've got closed cell spray foam insulation in my attic, and in the hottest part of summer, I can walk into the attic, and it's about 78, 80, 82 degrees or so.
Yeah, that's about right. I've seen it about 78 to 85 is the range that I usually see in a spray foamed attic. And it is alarming if you're used to 120, 130 degree attic and you walk up there in the middle of summer and it feels nice. It's kind of, but it's a pretty special product.
Well, tell everybody how they can get more information from Energy One America.
Sure, you can go to the website. It's energyoneamerica.com, and one spelled out ONE. You can also give us a call directly at 843-388-6260. That's 6260. If you want to go directly to information about this new product, Retrofoam, you can go to energyoneamerica.com/Retrofoam. All
right, terrific. Well, we've been talking with Reid McCall with Energy One America, and thank you for hosting today's radio show, and thank you to Energy One America for being one of the sponsors of the Charleston Home and Design Show, coming up April 26th and 27th at Family Circle Stadium on Daniel Island. Thanks, Reid.
Thanks, Tim. It's been a pleasure.